I did 22 years on Rikers Island. Manny, I didn't retire on my own will. They ran me out. They made me retire because they said I had too much power. That's what it was. But it wasn't power. It was respect, Manny.
I'm a former Detroit police officer and rode with the One Percenter Motorcycle Club. During that time, I was involved in a lot of altercations. I had a gun shoved in my face. The trigger was pulled, and I got a plate under my left eye. I'm Manny Vitale, and this is my story. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Manny Vitale, host of My Fight, Our War. And it's that time again. I've got me one hell of a guest here. We've got the one and only Leroy Ebron. How you doing, Leroy?
Hey, how you doing, Manny? I'm good.
I'm good. And, you know, me and Leroy, we go back. We go back a ways here. And hearing some of his stories, you can check out Leroy, too, on his show. We'll get into that as well. Mm-hmm. But Leroy, he's got some crazy stories. Leroy spent time on Rikers Island as a corrections officer. And I had my time with Detroit police. Mm-hmm. And just hearing some of your stories, it's like, man, we got to get together, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Leroy, man, thank you for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for flying up here to see me, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
and,
that.
I didn't realize you got, a 2-hour drive or something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so thank you.
All the way from Detroit, man.
All the way from Detroit to see the one and only Leroy.
All the way from Detroit, my man.
Man, but seriously, man, I appreciate it. Like I said, at My Fight or War, I started this to help people that are dealing with a lot of serious issues.
Yes.
It depends on, doesn't matter if it's addiction, mental health issues, or you're just having a bad day. We hear these stories and we share them. Yours, we'll just start off with, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're from?
Okay, I'm from Brownsville on the south side, like I said. Mm-hmm. Our theme is never ran, never will. We always keep it real. That's straight up, you understand? And I had a great, bringing up as a kid, but growing up in Brownsville, only the strong survive, bro.
Yeah, that's true with you, man. So
I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it real with you,
No, that's what we want.
At the age, see my first dead body when I was around maybe 10 or 11.
What happened? What was that?
That was me running around with the other kids, and this dude was laid out by a store across the street, just laid out. You know what I'm saying? And
what was the cause of death for that guy?
Robbery. Yeah.
And that was at 10 years old.
At 10 years old, you know what I'm saying? And my mother always tell us, stay in front of the building. Mm-hmm. Don't leave in front of the house. But, I gotta be Dora the Explorer.
Well, back
that female, Leroy the Explorer. I'm running around with the, roughnecks, and we ran around the corner and
there it was.
Yeah, there it was, kid, There it was. And you don't realize things really when you're a kid until you start to grow up. Then you realize what you saw, what you ran into.
Kind of sets in.
It sets in. I was running to a store around our way called Mr. Holmes. It was a black-owned store, great store. And everybody used to go there. And right around the corner was a liquor store. And we run around playing and stuff, and I run around the corner on Rockaway Avenue. I run around the corner, and like I said, this was back in the early 80s, or maybe 79 or somewhere around there. And I run in the store, and there's this dude there with a big, now I'm older, I know what he had, 357 Magnum, man. And I run in there, and he said, hey, kid, what you doing in here? I said, I'm coming to get some candy. He said, you in the wrong store, man. It's around the corner. And I looked at him, and I know who the dude is sticking up the store. But I don't know he's sticking up the store. I don't know nothing about stick up. I'm young. So he said, go around the corner, man. I said, okay. And I run around the corner. And then later on that day, they were like, oh, what's the name? Stuck up the liquor store. Stuck up the liquor store. And now I'm older. I know what it's all about. I know who stuck up the liquor store.
You know the players, man.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And it's just amazing how you could just walk in on something, don't know what's going on, and it's just like a regular day to whoever's doing it.
Yeah, man. For you, that was just a normal day. Seeing this stuff, and which is a shame at 10 years old, seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So is that how, that same, you grew up in that area. So as you got older, man, you probably saw more and more of this stuff.
Come on, man. Man, it was bad. We used to be collecting bottles. That's when you get nickel or dime for the Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola bottles, and we'd go in the park in front of the house, hypodermic needles and everything all around. We didn't know what the needles was. We was like, yo, it's a needle. Now,
Now you know.
Now I know what it was all about, but it was crazy.
So you had, everyone has like their boys, their crew, their friends. When you're little guys hanging up as you get older. So with that environment, now did you and the guys you hung out with, your crowd, any of them start getting into trouble as you got older?
Everybody got in trouble, son. I was raised in a strict family just like them, but mine was extra strict. Be in the house before sun go down, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they can hang out all night.
Yeah.
But I had to, once that sun go down, I would have my butt in the house. Well, I'm going to be in trouble, you know what I'm saying? So they used to tease me too. Oh, sun going down, that means Leeway get ready to disappear. Yeah, I would disappear, But look, that kind of saved me because them same dudes that stayed out all night, them the ones that was getting in trouble going to jail.
Yeah, I was just going to say now, some of those that you've known since you were a little guy,
yes.
Did any of them get to the point where it was so severe? Did any of those, get into the trouble where it got them jammed up, where they went into, got arrested, prison?
All of them. Mostly all of them.
Even worse than that, did any of the crew that you hung with get to the point or get shot, stabbed, or killed?
Stabbed, killed, all of that,
and
man.
these are guys that you personally...
These are guys that I grew up with personally with.
Oh, man.
So... and I, like they say, coming in out of the projects, soon as you come outside, how they say, you're a process to your environment. You're a product of your environment.
Oh, you become part of the hunted and the hunter.
Right,
Yeah.
But the thing with me, for some reason, the big willies, they took to me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's my little boy. Come here, man. And I had a big family, man. I got 10 brothers, and I have 4 sisters, you know what I'm saying? So I had a big family. But they all was doing what they doing, because I was the youngest. They all doing what they doing, but here I am in the projects with, the lion, tigers, and bears.
Oh, yeah.
And it's these guys I never forget, Cadillac and Seville. These dudes, when I was younger, they was doing their thing. Them the 2 guys that threw me under their wing. And I ain't know why, but they was the gangsters around the way,
So that kind of probably helped save your butt, too.
Look, that's what, and check this out. Seville, God bless him, like I said, he used to, come here, come on. He said, yo, I want you to hold this for me, all right? He said, and I just give you the nod when you just, you come walk next to me and just pass it to me. I'm all right. And I already know they the big willies in block, But now I know what I really was. I was really their hoster.
Yeah. So you were a part of the crew.
I was a hoster. So when he give me the nod, I go over there and he pass him the Thule, Seville and Cadillac. They good. One time I was in Linden houses, and Starlight City was having a festival, and like a carnival, and when they went out there, it was like, oh shit, Cadillac Seville out here. They're like, word, everybody got scared, started moving. I seen them, I ran to them, hey, what's up, yo? They were like, yo, what you doing out here? I said, my sister live out here. They was like, hey, you know the drill, come here, man.
So that gave you credit amongst these people. Now they're seeing Leroy with those
that's
guys.
Yeah. That's what I was telling my boy Tut and everybody, Gallo and Derek and them. I was always into them. It was just, I was there, man.
It didn't have to be said. Everyone knew that where you were part of this.
Right. And it's crazy, man, because, you know, we had some crazy dudes. I'm gonna tell a story one day. A booty bandit called Big Ro. Man, he'd knock niggas out and take their booty.
Okay. Well, with the stuff, I mean, with these guys here, they sound like they didn't play around.
They didn't play around.
So, and with you, I mean, I know that you surrounded and you saw a lot of things happen. Did you ever see anything like firsthand that happened, like right in front of you, like anyone get shot, stabbed? Were you ever around that firsthand?
I give you a first-hand story. Over there in Linden Houses, they had a game room on Pennsylvania Avenue. Everybody go to the game room. All right. Big Ro, that's the booty bandit. He comes around there. Everybody, oh shit, nigga, Big Ro. Don't trust that nigga. You go, that nigga knock you out. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Your booty hole, kid. I'm just trying to tell you, right? You know, it's not funny, but that's the reputation he got. And he got a dead arm. We all in front of the game room. This is my first time watching him. He comes by, and, you know, it's rough. Like I said, the hood is rough for no reason at all. Man walking by, and Big Ro walks up on him, look at him, and swings his dead arm, hits the man in the jaw, and the whole man, his whole face, mouthpiece come out. So now everybody like, oh shit, Ro knocked his teeth out. Not thinking, I'm thinking he knocked his whole, now that I'm older, the man must have had dentures because everything was out. You know what I'm saying? We think he knocked his whole mouth out. But we saw that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that was a sight for me to see 60 teeth on the floor at one time.
So, and again, it was just another day.
But it was just another day.
Another day. Man, so for you to see this growing up, all of a sudden, now instead of Leroy hanging out with the gangsters and all that stuff, how in the heck did you become Leroy Corrections Officer at Rikers Island?
Son,
how did that come about?
Man, my brother's prayers are so strong and heavy. You know, all she knows is I was running the street every night, you know, going out with them. Man, I go out, she in the kitchen table, won't go to bed until I come in the house. Mm-hmm. Soon I come in the house, she got my dinner in the oven. Go wash your hands, get your dinner. Now, sit down and read you some Bible verses. After we read Bible verses, she said, all right, you want some warm milk? She'll give me some milk with tea or something. She'll make me have an orange, I'll never forget this, an orange with some castor oil, olive oil. She said, this will keep me from getting sick. She'll cut the orange, give it to me. She said, all right, put the castor oil in your mouth. I hated that. I felt like the Little Rascals or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, taking it. But for her and her prayers, that's what saved me, because it had to be that. Because I was out there, man.
Well, I tell you, a mother's love, man.
I was out there, man.
A mother's love. So how old, to become, when you started at Rikers as a corrections officer, how old were you when you started there?
I had started at 18. They let me in around 19. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I started early, man, because, you know, I retired when I was like 40, 41,
I was going to say, man, must have been young.
I was young, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, but you could never tell me that I was going to be a CO. You would never tell me in a million years. I always thought I'd be in there.
You'd be in there chatting with the CO.
Yeah. Not that way, you know. But for my mom's prayers, the grace of God, I went and got in there that kind of way. And in there's a different place. Just like you, Manny. I know you've seen a lot of stuff while you was working. I'll forget it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, man, when I'm on your show, we're going to have a little freestyle back and forth on that stuff. But this is all about you, Big Leroy, man. And so when you came on, man, I mean, what made you jump into that? I mean, was it just something all of a sudden one day you started thinking about it? It was like,
no, I didn't do nothing. While I was running the street, my mother it was a newspaper called The Chief. Mm-hmm. My mother would sit at that table, fill out every application you could think of. U.S. Postal, police, anything, transit, you know what I'm saying? court officer. Anything that had to do with the city or the federal government, she was filling them applications out and sending them out. And I would come in and she would say, you got to go take a test next week. Got to go to Brooklyn Tech. You got to test. A test? Yeah, you got to test.
Okay.
And so she got me in there. That's why I always give thanks to her.
Now it
See
makes
what
sense.
I'm saying?
Yes.
She wanted me off the streets. She wanted me to make something of myself. And when they called me, that's what it was.
No kidding. So
Sanitation, all that, yeah.
So 19 years old at Rikers Island. So, I mean, here you're walking in here and you're probably seeing people that are locked up that you were running the streets with.
All of them. All of them, man.
That had to be something.
All of them. But see, like I said, my OJT was at the women's house. You never want to go in there, man. You never want to go in the women's house, kids.
Well, when you started it, I'm shit because 19's young.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 19 years old. So, when you're 19, you're coming in. You're talking in a badass prison with some badass people in there. So, at 19 years old, how old were you? Oh, shit. I mean, that's your job.
Yeah.
What was the first thing that you saw at your earliest age when you first started that was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what was the thing that, I know you told me all the fights and all that, but what was one of the first memories you have as a 19-year-old brand new corrections officer that sticks in your mind?
What the hell am I getting into? I always knew my friends was going in jail, but now I'm finally seeing what jail it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a madhouse. A madhouse. You would think it's a zoo.
So as far as these, like, how long was it before you saw your first all-out brawl? I know you said the razor blades were endless and stuff like that.
Man,
what was some of the stuff that you saw?
Man, it was an all-out. So when you walk into jail, the bells is ringing. You don't know what the bells ringing, but you see the officers running with their riot gear, their sticks, their shield, their helmet, and you're like, and they said, yo, they setting it off in this housing area, and they got to run over there, man, and people getting stabbed and cut up in there. And then when I go, they tell me suit up. I don't even know how to put the suit on. So now they got to show me how to put the suit on. Then they push you out. Go. Now I'm running. Like a demented there. I got a suit, a mask on, and they don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I just got to follow what the other officers is doing. You know what I'm saying? And they go in this area, and I mean, cheers is being thrown and everything. Boom, 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 boom. You know, and the officers are running there. Stay there, get against the wall. Don't you move. What up? You know? And I'm watching everything, and that's how you learn. It's like learn on,
Learn on a job.
There you go. Learn on the job, boy, because when I first started, we probably did like 6 months in the academy or some shit like that. We only did about 3 months, and they said, go. They need y'all.
They pushed you through.
They pushed us through, man.
Man.
We even finished the academy. They need y'all. You're in the army now. Push. For real. Put you right up in that jail.
And now you're getting out. So these guys, you said they're getting in there stabbed and all that stuff. Were they, obviously you can't go in there with weapons, so they're making them. How are they doing all this stuff? What are they doing?
They'll make them out of a window sill. They'll break a window. They have a fiberglass. They'll make out fiberglass out of their toothbrush. Mm-hmm. They'll get a shaving razor, take the shaving razor out, put it on the toothbrush, melt it on the toothbrush with a match, because back then you could smoke cigarettes. Melt it. Now they got a razor in the toothbrush. People walk by. Yeah.
You see that all the time?
All the time, man. All the time. All the time. All the time, man. I seen so many cuttings, I can't even count them.
So with that stuff going on, obviously you got these prisoners going at each other. But what about you guys, man? Did your personal attacks on you or your fellow officers?
When I first got in there, officer named RoboCop Thank you, RoboCop. Because if it wasn't for RoboCop, I don't. Nobody else gave me this. Nobody told me. He was the first one that told me. He was running the corridor on the other side of the building, and he always had these black leather gloves on, you know. And then all of a sudden, it was a riot. It was like Mod 8, Mod 9. That's like a module, and they would set it off, Manny. And they set it off. You got about 200 inmates fighting in the hall. Man, and you got the whatever officers in there, they fighting too. And I'm a new jack, so I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. These niggas got razors and, I mean, yo. So the officer RoboCop ran to me, and he said, yo, where you banging at? Banging? Where you at? I don't been banging. You ain't got no banger? Well, if you ain't got one, you better get one. Because I got mine. Nigga pull out a 007. The 007's back. You got to get one. Don't get caught without that. And, man, he went running. From that day on, I ain't going to lie to you, man. I went around the way on Pickett Avenue and got me a 007.
So for everyone who's wondering what that actually is, why don't you, what that is?
If some people want to know what a 007, y'all. Dang, I didn't know I was going to tell this story because I would have one. It's a knife that click, about like that. You know what I'm saying, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And believe me, I thank him till today for him telling me I better ante up and arm myself.
Well, I tell you, because I remember I had an experience with the police department. My first week on a job, I had an old timer tell me kind of the same thing. He goes, Vitale, he goes, you know all that stuff they told you in the academy?
Forget
yes,
about
sir.
it.
Forget it. He goes, that's academy world. This is real world.
That's right.
So you just had the same education.
Yes. Yes.
Now, so you've seen these guys with all that time you were there, man. Have you had any? Have you ever been injured or stabbed or anything from any of these?
No, most of the
fights?
time I got hurt from saving somebody. Like I had dislocated my shoulder one time because a dude was hanging up, like I was telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let me show y'all something. Okay, man?
Sure.
You mind? Let me show y'all something. I almost died in jail. I almost died from saving an inmate life. Y'all see this? This is an inmate bed sheet, y'all. If y'all don't know, this is an inmate. See how thick this is, man? Man, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
The knives that they gave us in corrections was called a 911. It was a little knife with a curve. That shouldn't even cut butter. But they want us to cut an inmate down if he's hanging up. You see this? Look how thick this is. He hanging all the way from the ceiling. I can't cut this shit with no 911 knife. That 911 knife ain't cutting through no street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I went to go in there to save him, I had to step on the ledge because he was already hanging. And by him fighting, he grabbed me and it spin around. Now it's spinning around again. Now we both hanging up. That's how it was longer than this.
Mm-hmm.
Now we both wrapped up. And I was counting. I hear the inmate saying, "Ebron need help, Ebron need help." They banging on the door. Man, he didn't mean to wrap me up, you know.
No, he was
up.
just fighting.
He was fighting. But now we both hanging. And I almost died in there, man. I was counting the minutes, the seconds. Because I was like trying to get it, but he kept grabbing me and I couldn't do nothing. And I see my lights going out. And it started out like 6, 5. My husband going 4.
Just going out.
3. I'm like, God, please. I was like, Mama, I love you, okay? 2. And then I looked, and the inmates was banging on the cell. All of them, thank God for Nelson. My partner Nelson came and looked. He said, "Oh, shit." And he came and ran. Then Martin came, my other partner, and they lifted me up. And they got me up. Cut me up out that sucker.
Well, the thing is, just like with that guy hanging there, like you said, it's not like he was trying to assault you, but just think of a drowning victim. You go out there because you always hear,
Yes.
if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it because they're going to be grabbing you to stay alive. And
That's
that's kind
right.
of what was happening.
You
So
know
you
what I'm
got
saying?
that stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, first they throw you out there, they throw you to the wolves, before you were even
Yeah.
done with training.
Right, yeah.
They give you insufficient gear
Yes.
to go out there and do
Yes.
this with.
Yep.
I mean, you got all this stuff going on.
You know,
And so with these inmates going at it like that, I mean, they're in jail. They got nothing to lose. So as far as like you seeing these inmates fighting, I mean, I'm sure you had to see some horrific stuff as far as inmates doing to each other. I mean, the thing is, people want to know that they hear stories, but they don't know from people like you inside to see it.
Right.
I mean, as far as like you see these guys doing, what's like some of the worst things that you see two inmates doing as far as fighting and going at it and the damage they've inflicted on each other?
like, I just dropped a story on Leroy Ebron's house, man.
Uh-huh.
If y'all watched that Leroy Ebron's house, I was telling about the time I was trying to save an inmate from getting cut. And they just wanted to cut him because he was a pretty motherfucker. No reason. They had no reason. And I looked at the kid and I'm like, you know one of them kids that he looked like he just don't belong in jail?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I see him praying on him. And he trying to, hold. I ain't scared of y'all, but I know he ain't got a chance in hell. But he just trying to show him that he not scared. But they like, yo, we gonna tear your ass up. You ain't doing nothing. They just looking at, we gonna tear your ass up, kid. So I was like, yo, leave him alone. They were like, Ebron, you can't save him. He gonna get it. He talking back to us too. He don't know who we are. I said, yo, man, just leave him alone. Then he tell me, Ebron, don't take up for me. I can handle these punks. And in my mind, slow down, kid. You don't want to mess with these guys right here.
Did they end up getting them?
Check it out, man. So I tell him, I say, listen, when I'm here, you good. When I'm not here, don't come out your cell, because they want you. So I said, the reason why I'm telling you this, because I don't know your case, but the way I'm looking at you, you might be out of here in another week or two. Who knows? Right? Because he said he had a weak case. Manny, for a whole month to 3 weeks, he was good. One day, I get a phone call, they want me to go to personnel. All right. And I wasn't going to lunch or nothing, Manny. I stayed there to make sure nothing happened to that kid. But that day, I got to go because they want me in personnel. I get up to go in personnel. Soon when I get up to the top of the steps, the bells are ringing. Ring! And when them bells ring, that means it's a fight, assault on staff, something going on, and everybody got to get there. And I see everybody running my way, so I'm like, yo, where the alarm at? This says in your house, Ebron, where you just left. I'm like, what? Man, I turn around, man, I ran down the stairs. When I opened the door, they had him between the door, and I see him. I'm like, yo, you all right? You all right? And this is what I'm saying, y'all got to look at Leroy Ebron's house, because I show an example, a real example. He said, yeah, Ebron, I'm all right. They finally got me. And when he said that, your tongue came out the side of his face like that. It was flapping like this.
So like wide open?
Right? Wide open. Tongue hanging, move. And then he just said, and pushed it back in his mouth. I was like, oh, God. So when y'all look at Leroy Ebron's house, I ain't going to spoil it, but I showed you a real live visual of what that sucker looked like.
So they got him.
We got him.
And again, just like on the street, you're walking into this stuff. It's another day. Now you're in Rikers. You're in here. And this is just another Tuesday.
Just another Tuesday, kid.
Man.
Just another Tuesday.
And you spent, how many years there?
22.
And this was just a nonstop event?
Non-stop event, And like I said, I worked in the worst area of the jail, So the worst of the worst, they coming to me.
Now, how with some of these guys coming at you? I mean, obviously, as a corrections officer, you guys are outnumbered. So you gotta, you can't be a punk, but you gotta walk that fine line because some of them want to befriend you, some of them want to do that, but you got to watch your own ass when it comes down
Man,
to it.
like I said, before I got on the job, I was on the street, so I met a lot of people. I knew a lot of people. All right. Even like you said, the inmates that got around, yo, you know who that is? You know where he live at? You know, they talking about me. They said, that's such and such. That's Leroy, that Ebro there. Right? So I'm like, okay. So now, I'm holding on the street. If I'm somebody on the street, I can't change up when I go in jail. I got to be the same person I am on the street as I'm in jail. So that's when I said, okay, that's why you got to be.
Oh yeah, man.
That's why you got to be.
Well, when you're in there,
You
man,
know?
if you're not yourself, you're not authentic. They're gonna see right through you.
Thank you.
But you know, at the same time, man, you know, you start seeing people that you've arrested. You start seeing, you know, you're part of your own crew in there now. But you still gotta be Leroy, the CEO,
Right.
and do what you gotta do. You know, these guys that are coming in there. What age they got? You know, I mean, you coming in what 18? These youngsters coming in. What's the youngest you've seen?
Oh, man, the youngest I've seen about 14.
Coming into Rikers?
Yeah, about 14 at that time. Around 14, that's the youngest. They always say it's supposed to be adolescent jail, but you can't believe all that. They had grown men in there.
So here
We had
is
grown
like
men in there.
for that age, they weren't in the same area with like the 19, 20, 40, 50, 60 year old.
When I first started,
Uh-huh.
it was.
They were. So you could have a 14-year-old in the same area as
As a dude that's 18, 19, 20.
Okay.
It went like that, yeah.
So
when I
that's
first started.
That's easy. That's bait.
When I first started, it was like that because some people were lying about their age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they lie about their age. They really 18 or 19, and you with this 14 or 15-year-old dude. You know, but then later on they start breaking the ages down, the age group down to try to, you know, like you said, monetize the ages. So they wind up doing that, but still, you know, still a lot of times, sometimes it didn't match up.
So now too, you got not that going on, but everyone knows in jail, you know, just like out of jail, man, you got your cliques, your gangs, you got all
Yeah.
that. What was that like with the gangs in there?
See, when I was working, they had the gangs, the Latin Kings and Ayatas, and it was no Bloods and there was no Crips at the beginning, you know, and yo, it was Puerto Ricans against the blacks, you know, neighborhood against neighborhood, you know, Bronx against Brooklyn, and you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, they had their little things, you know what I'm saying? But me, I never really had to deal with none of that because, like I said, I was in the beam. So they'll usually bring these guys down after they done stabbed or cut somebody, and when they bring them down, man, some of these guys had 300, 400 days.
Really?
That's how much time they had for doing the crime that they did out there.
How much time?
300 or 400 days.
Really?
They're going to be with me for a year, 2 years in the box.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and like I said, like you said, some stories you can tell, some stories you can't. But what I'm trying to tell you is when an inmate tried me, and I was nice to everybody. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to be humble to you. I'm going to let you know the rules and everything. And it's up to you to comply and, you know, go by it, you know, because I'm going to treat you fair. But once you cross that line,
oh yeah,
then that's another story. We're going to take it to the street now.
See, that's someone we both know, obviously, you better than myself, is Norman Seabrook.
Yes.
He was on a show and saying just that same thing, is you got some of these corrections officers who are out there who are more corrupt than the people who are locked up, who are treating the inmates like garbage.
Yeah.
And with no respect, no dignity and all that. Now, you know, some people say, yeah, they did the crime, the criminals, they deserve all that. You know what, they deserve the time, but you still, you know, like you said, I'm going to treat you with respect until you don't deserve that treatment.
That's right.
And when it gets to that time, well, then I'm going to do what I got to do first and foremost to protect me. and your partner and all that.
Right. Because when I first started, that's when they used to sing the Beretta, don't do the crime if you can't do the time, baby. And I used to hear that all the time from my partners, the females, don't do the crime if you can't. And that was like a famous theme song in jail,
Because it was true.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So that was, I know you brought some about that earlier. So you got the areas, obviously different areas and all that stuff. And you brought up briefly about one thing you said, man, you don't want to be part of, don't want to work in this, you don't want to work in this area. And you said you don't want to work with the women in this cell. And
see, I did OJT for the women, and it was just a bad experience for me, man.
For someone that doesn't have any idea what you're talking about, what would make that so different than working, with the guys? I mean, you said that it was even more. So what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that, I'll give you the best way I can tell you. I'd rather smell a nigga ass than smell pussy all day long, stink pussy in my nose. What you want? You want to smell fish market or you want to smell ass? I got asthma. I'm going to smell ass. I don't smell fish.
So it was that bad. Well, it's prison, so you figure it's prison. But you're saying triple that to the worst extent, and that's what you got.
Son, just imagine buying some crabs and leaving them out for a day. For not a week. How you think that smell?
So now you got that going on. And now, how, because I've heard these stories and you see, women, the saying is, if you're going to act like a man, you're going to fight like a man, you're going to be treated like a man.
Okay.
So how were they in the as far as, because these women don't play either, man.
Women.
I mean, working
let me
where I
tell
did,
you.
I saw the same thing. So how was that compared to dealing with these guys? As far as coming at you, physically, violently.
Your son. They had a song out here, and I feel like the song, I'm going to beat that bitch with a bat. I'm going to beat that bitch with a bat. That's how furious they come at you. I seen them fight.
Everybody sure said like a wild animal.
Yo, son.
Didn't they say it was like you saw some of these women, and they said they almost looked like they were possessed coming at you. Like, there was no joke. I mean, it wasn't.
That's
what
I'm trying to tell you. Later for that, man. You got to beat them niggas like you playing Daylight or Dawn or the Dead. You know what I'm saying? For real. Later for it, man, they will tear your ass up.
There was no fear.
They will tear your ass up.
So these fights that you saw, obviously, I mean, it's your job. You're going to see fights all day, every day. You've seen the fights with these baddest of the bad dudes in here, obviously.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, the women are in there fighting too, man. And so
they're more violent to me.
Yeah, you said the aggression, they were just like...
They more violent. Like, you see the cat... you can hear the hair...
So they're just as violent, if not more so.
I think more so.
And then
they got nails.
And not only that, but they're still doing the same thing with filing down the toothbrush. They're getting the razor blades. So they're doing the same thing to each other. It doesn't matter, men or women.
I was ready to leave when they was washing the bloody pads out, and I couldn't believe they was rinsing the bloody pads in the sink, in the slop sink. I was like. And the blood was just coming through their hands. It acted like it wasn't nothing. I felt like I was ready to throw up. But I didn't say that. I was, you can't show. But I did show some kind of emotion. I was like, damn. And one of the females, big Felix the cat looking motherfucker, eyes like this. She was like, what you looking at? Rolling up your nose like something stank. And then the girl said, girl, what's wrong, cat? What's going on? This officer over here rolling up his nose like something stank. Don't you know I throw this bloody pad all over your face?
Said that to you?
She said that to me. I was a new jack, had the sky blue uniform on. Yo, I ain't stupid. I used to listen to this record in my father's car, and it went like this. You gotta know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to back up, know when to run. and I was out that bitch. I start backing out that bitch.
You knew
You ain't
something was
gonna
up.
hit me with no bloody pad. You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about hit me with the bloody pad.
Well, I tell you, because I know Norman brought up the same thing when Norman was on about how these officers were being attacked with everything from physical attacks, punches, being bit, being attacked with these weapons, being like spit on and having like feces thrown at them and
Right,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So that's something else that you've seen all the time.
And see, that's right. I got stories with that too. You know
What's the
what I'm
craziest
saying?
thing you saw with that? Someone throwing something at an officer, or usually it'd be an inmate, or I'm sorry, corrections officer. What's the worst you saw as far as that goes?
You really want to know?
Yeah, that's why we're here, brother.
My number one story, y'all got to watch it, Ebron. I did 22 years on Rikers Island. Manny, I didn't retire on my own will. They ran me out. They made me retire. Because they said I had too much power. That's what it was. But it wasn't power. It was respect, Manny. You understand? This white Depp was fucking with me out of nowhere, didn't know me from a can of paint. He came in my area one morning, around 7 in the morning. And he came in the housing area. My suicide aid house came. They clean up every morning, mop, sweep. He came down and was like, "What's this mess? This house is dirty and filthy, and it stink." Manny, I ain't gonna lie to you. The warden that I had, Warden Robinson, whatever I needed, Deb Andrews, Billy, whatever I needed, they gave it to me so that house in there it could be spick and span. So that one lower, one main, when I was one of the cleanest houses, because that's where they bring the visitors, to come walk through. Because that's high classification, so they bring them in. This step comes in, it's nasty, it's filthy, it stink. I'm looking at this dude, and he's screaming at me, Manny. I mean, and I'm looking at him, I don't know him. So then all the inmates say, "Hey, Braun." Now I got 60 inmates right there. 30 on one side, 30 on the side. "Hey, Braun, who talking to you like that?" I'm like, "I don't know who this dude is." That's what I said. He said, "Walk with me." I said, "I'm not walking with you no fucking where." And I talked to him just like that. I'm not walking with you no fucking way. I don't even know you. So he went to walk down the tier. Man, he walked down from one cell all the way till they waited until he got to the end of the hall. It's a long hall. Then you hear the inmate say, "Yo, Ebro, he come down here talking to you like that? Fuck that nigga. Everybody on the gate." When they say everybody on the gate, like you in the army, boom, all the inmates on the gate. And soon when he start to walk that tier, you can hear somebody say, "Get him." And Manny, when they say get him, man, it was like a movie. I ain't never seen so much shit, piss, Kool-Aid coming out that cell, milk. Yo, Manny, they tore that Depp up. When he got to the middle of the tier, he turned around and looked at me and said, "Help. I ain't helping your ass. You must be crazy." And when he went to take a step, he spent around like Michael Jackson. It was so much shit and piss on the floor. He spent like Michael Jackson. They caught his step and wound up. He had shit and piss all in his mouth, coming out his face. His shirt was like yellow, green, brown, every color you could think of in the crayon book, right? And then he hit the alarm. He had the alarm. So he hit the alarm. And now they know this is my area. We don't call alarms. All right? We don't call alarm. So instead of them running, they said, "Yo," they call down and control them. It must be a mistake because the board said y'all need help. Alarm down there. They said, "Ebron all right?" They said, "Yeah, Ebron all right, but
whoever this guy
we
is.
don't see it. You said it. Somebody down here getting it. We don't know who this guy." They're like, "Hey, yeah, some white shirt." Man, Manny, Next you know, the door start banging on the door. Boom, 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 boom. It was the warden, the captain, everybody came down. And when they came down, the warden, I love you, Deb Andrews, they came to you all right, bro? Yeah, I'm good. I like, who that? And the warden looked, and the warden said, who you? He said, I need help. He got shit and piss trying to walk to the warden. Warden said, stand back, you stink. Don't come next to me. Who you? He said, I'm a Dep, you know, and I can't. He said, hold up. Warden said, hold up. You a Dep and you walk in my jail and don't come see me in my office first before you come, come through those gates? He said, man, get the hell out of here. He told him, get the hell out of here. So he said, you ain't going to get who did this? So the warden looked at him. Warden said, let me show you something. You don't know where you at, do you? He was like, no. You are in a segregation area. This is the Bing. We don't have no problems down here with Ebron and them here. You caused this. You the cause of this. And Warden said, watch this. All right, who shitted down the debt? Guess what, Manny? The whole house said, we all did it. And Warden said, that's your answer. We can't do shit.
That's right, man. Well, hey, and I could just see, like your Warden said, you come into my house, you show no respect to me, my officers, and come in and start taking charge.
Yeah.
You know what? You just got the shit that you deserve.
Basically, that's what went wrong.
Obviously, if
Deb Andrews and Billy was telling him, that's what you deserve.
Everyone knows if it would have been something violent,
right,
you guys would have intervened. But you know what? To do something like that, your Warden nailed it. You're going to come into my house and not go through the proper channels and start disrespecting my officers, who, by what you just witnessed, you show the respect that my officers get from these inmates. So that's a huge plus for you,
right,
and your other coworkers.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's awesome, bro.
And the crazy thing is the warden said, go change, and then come back to me. He said, I ain't got no. He said, well, get out my jail. Go home, change, and come on back.
Man,
take a shower. But look, that Dep took it to. He's probably taking it to his grave. He's lucky he moved out of New York. Because I told him, I said, I'm going to get your ass. He lucky he moved because he was the reason why I had to retire.
I remember saying stuff like that, but that's just...
Oh, you remember?
Yeah, I remember talking about that, man.
He the reason why I retired because he wouldn't let off.
Yeah.
He kept trying to come at me any little kind of way, he would try to screw me. He even tried to set me up to say that me and another inmate tried to kill somebody.
I remember that. And I know that, because after this, we're going to be doing your show.
Okay.
So I know we're going to be going back and forth.
Because I know you got some stuff.
I'm going to be a guest on the Leroy Ebron show.
Yes.
That is going to be a free-for-all back and forth, possibly with a mediator, possibly. We'll see what's going on. And so we're going to do that. But, man, I tell you what, brother, I appreciate you coming on and sharing this stuff with me.
Yeah, man, because, we got so much, in common, me and you.
Oh.
After I... heard your story and stuff on your channel, Manny, I was like, this brother don't even know the stuff we got in common.
And that's why, every time I see you, and now I know what you're doing, I always like to promote,
definitely.
what you're doing. And we're going to be doing a lot more in the future, obviously.
Yes,
but right now, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah,
and sharing
definitely.
This,
definitely.
And
man.
you and your amazing family out there as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So I appreciate it. And you know what? Everyone knows. Why don't you give everyone a shout out where they can follow you, what different platforms they can follow you at?
Okay, I'm on TikTok. All right, Ebron's. It's called Ebron Leroy 6. And I'm on YouTube. You got to put Leroy Ebron's house. Just one word. No space. I don't know why they did it like that, but they did. Leroy Ebron's house. Because if they put a space, Manny, sometime, they get another one of my channels. You understand?
Okay.
But this is the channel I want everybody to lock in on. Leroy Ebron's house.
And that's on YouTube.
But that's on YouTube, yes.
All right, man. Well, definitely check it out, man. I always give you a shout out, Leroy Ebron's house on YouTube. Check it out. And again, thank you for coming on, brother. And also, don't forget, check us out on YouTube at My Fight Our War. be helpful, go to My Fight Our War, subscribe, follow, and share the content there as well. If you could please follow us on TikTok and share the content over there, follow us there, it'd be appreciated.
I watched your show the other day. I know you saw me. That I can't remember the guy's name, but his story was deep. You had everybody on your channel.
Oh, I tell you, every now and then we get those shows, man, and it goes off the hook. And with you guys, on there with the interaction makes it better.
Yes.
So again, thank you, Leroy, and thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Until then, keep fighting the good fight.